call is a horizon. If under jungle, the leaf litter comes and darkens it. When the leaf litter breaks down, what we call humus will start to form, the surface becomes dark. But in an estate like this, where you have planted, you have already rotavated the land, so forth, then we will call this layer up here AP horizon, plough layer, AP. So if I take a piece here, and if I compare, for example, with here, see there's a difference in color. So I can draw a horizon like that. And then here again the color is different. I can draw one more line. If I take from here and here, see color differences. So the easiest thing to use is color. Where you can see quite clearly, you will mark out the horizons. Okay, then from here to here there's another horizon here, for example, but it becomes more clean. This one, the white one, is more sand, fine sand. Okay, so that is typical, as I said, in this island, but in this particular area, you start to get different layers. Alluvial soils, very often layering is very common. Okay, then if you go down, you get yellow mottle. What is that?
Jarosite.
Jarosite. So we are sure that the material below here is predominantly sulfidic marine clay. Sulfidic marine clay. Okay, that is indicated by the presence of yellow jarosite mottle. But jarosite occurring below 50 centimeters in this particular paddock. Okay, so we have now the jarosite occurs within 100 centimeters. So by definition in Malaysia, if your jarosite occurs within 100 centimeter, we call it an acid sulphate soil. Now, how important your jarosite layer? If it comes within 50, it becomes a serious limitation. Because jarosite, as I explained in the lectures, indicates that this soil has got now a pH of less than 3.5. Now we cannot go around every pit, go and measure like that. Very difficult. So when we see jarosite, we assume that the pH is below 3.5. If you are doing research and all that, of course you will try to sample. So this particular pit, because we were doing the mapping, we have this is not the actual pit where the data is given for you in the notes. The pit is further away for logistic reason, because all of you are coming by bus. We have to put it near here. So this is the closest we can get to what we have mapped. So one of the characteristics of this soil, you got an AP horizon, then you got another darkened layer, but sand pockets all over. All this light colored material is mostly sand. If you feel very fine sand, almost like siltside sand. Some of you want to come and have a look, later you can have a look. And then you have jarosite below 50 centimeters. And then if you go deeper down, you will hit the marine clay, but in this one, we may not see, only see the jarosite. We still haven't hit the marine clay. Okay, the marine clay is like what we showed earlier, the blue colored material. So this is below 100. Okay. Okay, now you can
right, Dr. Param.
here. This one here out. This one still got jarosite already here. You are getting close to the sea horizon. Not fully yet, because you still see jarosite. And if you look at the jarosite closely, a lot of the jarosite is along old root channel. Why old root channel? How does the oxidation take place? Is when air carrying oxygen comes and oxidize the pyrite to jarosite. The oxidation is partly biological, partly due to oxygen. So along the old root channel, air can go in. So very often, even in the sea horizon, you may already see some jarosite along old root channels. But to call it an acid sulphate soil, we want to see jarosite on the bed surfaces, not only along the root. Because even under mangrove swamp, sometimes you can get jarosite along old root channel. But the material is massive, sticky, wet and sticky. Like this is already starting to become sticky, the color is starting to become bluish. Okay? Okay, if you want to go through the description now, look at the description in the tour bulletin. Add-on 3. Okay. So I think if you just look at the description, you will see that we say that the texture is a fine sandy clay loam, and then going down to sulfuric horizon below 50 centimeters. Anybody can tell me the clay content or something like that? The next page.
24 on top, 20, 31, 35.
So you see, there's quite a high amount of sand in the profile. So the Carey series, compared to say like Sidu, Paribota, etc., is differentiated because you have much more sand. As I said, the sand coming down from the river, certain places it tends to form much more sand, some places less sand, but always got pockets. But in certain places much more sand, so the texture now becomes a sandy clay loam. Remember, the clay content more than 35 become a clay, 18 to 35 sandy clay loam, and then so forth. So this is a sandy clay loam, fine sandy clay loam with jarosite below 50 centimeters. Okay, so those are the main characteristics. The color in these cases, you get a grey color. We take the color always at 50 centimeters. So if I take the matrix color here, it will tend to be brownish grey, 10YR, 62 or something like that. Tend to be on the grey color side. Okay. Now, if I look at the structure, because of the large amount of sand, quite easy to break it up. See, I just apply some pressure, it breaks up. So quite friable, fine structured material. Afterwards, when you look at the grey, really grey one with the clay content, you can see the difference in the structure. Like Tongkang series, you see the picture, then looks very sticky. Okay. Now, if you turn to now to appendix I think 1 at the back of the book. Appendix 1. See, when we start mapping acid sulphate soils, we separate two groups. The first group, if you look on the left hand side, is clayey, okay, grey B matrix, grey color. So 10YR, 62, 72, all those are brownish grey, grey. Always talking about 71, 72 is all grey. Remember, I showed you just now the Munsell color chart. When you are talking of low chroma, 71, 72, we are talking predominantly of grey. If you go to the next column down there, clayey brown B matrix. Brown, you go to 10YR 63, 10YR 53, brown colors. If you have a Munsell color chart, you can look at it. Okay. And then of course in Sarawak they have the loamy family, sandy, which we don't see so commonly in Peninsular Malaysia, except for this soil, which is fine sandy loam, which goes into the loamy family, 10 to 35% clay. Okay, then on the top we got depth to sulfuric horizon or sulfidic material. Here we said a sulfuric horizon is present between 50 to 100 centimeter. The yellow jarosite water always below 50 centimeters. So we go to the column there, sulfuric horizon between 50 to 100 centimeter, underlying cambic horizon, and all that. We can forget about that. So your sulfidic material now occurs, the sea horizon at the bottom there is below 100 centimeter. Okay, so sulfidic material more than 100 centimeter, sulfuric horizon 50 to 100. Okay, so if you go down, look at the grey color, loamy family, you read across, you got Carey series. Can you all get that? Where is the position of the Carey? The texture is loamy because of the fine sand. Color, sulfidic material below 100 and sulfuric horizon 50 to 100 centimeter. If you go to the last part of your tour bulletin, we have a cross
before I
section.
go on, I say there's Carey and Java fine sandy grey loam.
Java
in the
is
same
brown
box,
color.
So the color differentiate.
Differentiate them. If you go to the back of the book, I explained this diagram to you all yesterday in the lecture. Too many things. Can you turn the cross section at the back? This diagram. So you see a normal sequence when you start from the sea. As I told you yesterday in the lecture, you start with the Carey series, Merbok series is just inside the bund. The Carey is outside the bund. As we cross the bridge, we actually entered Carey Island, where Tuan Hazlan just now said we have built a bund around the whole island. So if you are outside the bund, the sea water still inundates the material. Mangrove, you get Carey series, very low N value. Unfortunately, I can't show you the N value here because this area has been drained. It has sulfidic material. All those cubes there represent pyrite. But because they are near the sea, the color tends to be grey. So if you go across, you get a Merbok series. When you drain it, the N value becomes less, and then you start forming a jarosite layer within 50 centimeter, Kuala Perlis, Paribota, and then you go to the Telok and Tongkang, and then the Bernam. If I start from the peat gives you organic matter, so it tends to make your soil more brown. Structure becomes better. So you will start with the Linau series, Penuh, which is the shallow peat we saw earlier, and then Linau series, the mineral soil, Goa, Sedu, Java, and so forth, and then Selangor series. So the Selangor series, you can get jarosite, but below 100.